Okay, so Baruch Hashem, we're able to be together this week. By the way, it's a very big simcha. The last 2 weeks we weren't able to meet, but because there were big weddings, there were chatunot that we had to celebrate from people in the shir, and so Baruch Hashem, it was good things, but it's good to be back. So today we want to thank Michael for the sponsorship. Again, the Lelunishmat, Bachor Ben Liza, Rena Bat Ester, and Refuah Shalema, all of the cholim that we mentioned earlier. So this week, besides for Parashat Shavua, we have a special parasha, the Parashat Shkalim. So Shkalim is one of the 4 parashiyot that we read special for the month of Adar. So Shkalim, actually, in case you don't remember, why do we read Shkalim first? Why is it, right? Officially, we didn't even bless Adar Bet yet. This Shabbat, we're going to say Mevarchim HaChodesh, we're going to say Adar Bet is coming up this week, but we already read Shkalim. And so Chazal tells us very simple. Haman Harasha, he wanted to bribe Achashverosh. He wanted to say, hey, I'll pay you off, give me permission to go kill the Jews. So we say, you know what? We also donate shkalim. We donate shkalim to the Beit HaMikdash. That's how we're counted, by machatzit shekel, half a shekel. But we want to preempt his bribe to Achashverosh with our donation to the Beit HaMikdash. So we read Parashat Shkalim before we even get into the Adar that has Purim in it. That's why we start with Shkalim now. Let's go a little bit further. Svarim HaKadoshim tell us that there are 4 parashiyot. Right? There's Shkalim, Zachor, Para, and HaChodesh. And oftentimes, when we have things which connect to 4, there are 4 Imahot, right? There are 4 rivers that come out of Gan Eden. We can go through the whole list of 4s. Whenever there are 4, automatically our mind tells us that it connects to not possibly, the most important 4 combination that there is. What is that? The 4 letters of Hashem's name. Yud, Hey, Vav, and Hey. Those 4 letters, whenever there's a grouping of 4, automatically our mind says it's connected to the 4 letters of Hashem's name. It's the same thing here. I saw something fascinating. There are different ways to understand certain things in Torah. There's this concept what we call Shivim Panim LaTorah. Shivim Panim LaTorah means that I can read this pasuk and I can interpret it as A, and you can read that pasuk and interpret it as B, and we're both right. Shivim Panim LaTorah literally means there are 70 ways to Torah. Now it has to be rooted in Emet, it has to be true. You can't just make up your own hocus pocus and say it's Torah. So the same thing happens over here. Some of the Svarim HaKadoshim tell us that the parashiyot of Adar, these 4 parashiyot, follow the order of Hashem's name in order. Yud, Hey, and Vav, and Hey. Therefore, Parashat Shkalim corresponds to the Yud. However, some of the Svarim bring down that they're actually in reverse order. They get more intensified if you're going from the backwards, Hey, Vav, Hey, and then the Yud, and backwards, it means it intensifies as we get more parashiyot on. So the Svarim that say it goes this way, and Svarim that say it goes that way. Okay. How does that make sense? How do we understand that? So perhaps the idea is as follows. Moshe Rabbeinu, Hashem says, you have to bring a machatzit hashekel. So Rashi tells us that there's a matbeah shel esh. Matbeah is a coin. Hashem shows Moshe Rabbeinu a coin out of fire. Now we know in the Mishkan there are all these kelim, all these utensils that Hashem had the Jewish people make. Moshe Rabbeinu was able to understand them all except for one. Which one could he not understand? The menorah. Moshe Rabbeinu says to Hashem, you got me. I don't get it. So Hashem says, okay, no problem. I'll show you a Kia booklet. I'll show you how to build the menorah. Hashem shows Moshe. Moshe Rabbeinu says, Hashem, even still, there are no words in the IKEA booklets, right? I can't build it. I don't know what you're talking about. So Hashem said, no problem. I'll take care of the menorah. So perhaps we can understand as follows. The menorah, if you look in the Torah, is detailed and intricate and specific. Every single aspect of the menorah was told to us. There are cups inside of cups, and there's 3 on this side, 3 on this side, and there are flowers carved into it. It was beautiful, beautiful. Every aspect and detail of it, how big it was, everything. Detail like crazy. A matbeah, and so Hashem showed Moshe the menorah in fire, Eish. The matbeah, a coin, how detailed could you get on the coin? Very simple. Even if there's an image on one side, okay, so it's a small image, you just carve the image on it. It's not like intricacies and details, it's like, okay, put the picture of a guy, whatever it is. And if you've ever seen ancient artifacts of coins, right, they weren't as fancy as our quarters today. It was just like a really bad outline of a guy. How detailed could that be? So I was thinking as follows. What's the avodah? What's the lesson? So totally on the side, how awesome is it? The menorah, while in the Mishkan, was different than the menorah we light on Chanukah. But the menorah hits the Chanukah, and the coin is a shekel right before Purim connects to Purim. The 2 things of fire are these 2 derabanan chagim. Purim and Chanukah, there's a lot of similarities. Just on the side. Perhaps you understand like this. If you believe that shkalim goes from yud and then hey and vav and hey, the beginning is shkalim, so that's the yud. And the end is the hey, on 2 opposite sides. So you know what else is on 2 opposite sides? The menorah and the coin. Why? The menorah was filled with detail beyond belief. The coin was very pashut, very simple. So how do we understand this? It's a message to each and every one of us. You want to get ready for Purim? You want to psych yourself out? Adar is a time that we have to be b'simcha. You want to be b'simcha? This is how you do it. Whether you think you're living so detailed and intricate and everything you're connecting, you're on fire, every aspect, how many flowers and how many cups and how many branches, that every single detail of your life, I'm connected to Hashem, you're on fire. But let's say you say, no, that's not me. That's not how I believe. I'm struggling. It's a little bit hard for me. I'm living very, very pashut in my avodah. I'm trying to put on tefillin. I'm trying to remember to make a bracha before I eat. I'm trying all these different things. So that's like the matbeah, that's like the coin. It's very simple. How did Hashem show that to Moshe Rabbeinu? That was also on fire. Means that if you're on either end of the spectrum, at the beginning or at the end, if you feel like you're totally connected or you're totally like almost disconnected, if every aspect of your life is on fire or like you're just very, very simple, Hashem says, you know how I'm showing you these things? Both of them are fire. Both of them are beautiful. Both of them are avodah Hashem was in love with. Stop judging yourself so much. Just realize it's fire. The coin, fire. The menorah, fire. If you're connected to me in any realm, Hashem says that's fire. That's what I'm looking for. You know what Amalek wanted to destroy? Amalek wanted to destroy our relationship with Hashem. So there's a pasuk when talking about Amalek. It says ki yad al case ka. Their hand was on the case ka. Ka is yud and hey. So if you hold that shkalim goes forward, shkalim is the yud. If you hold that it goes backwards, it's the hey. Perhaps according to our understanding we can understand. Amalek is attacking us on the yud and the hey. Meaning, on Parashat Shkalim, where we begin to intensify, we take out an extra Torah to read. When we intensify our avodah, that's what they wanted to mess up. Don't do such a good job. Find the reason why your avodah is not fire, why it's not good. Perhaps we could suggest a beautiful remez. The difference between, so how much of a coin do we give? Chetzi shekel, half of a shekel. The difference between the gematria of half a shekel is 215, and menorah, which is 301, is 86. You know what the difference between the two is? 86 is gematria Elokim, Hashem. It doesn't matter which side you're on, as long as you realize that the middle ground is always Hashem. If you realize you're connected to Hashem, so then you're good. So beautiful, beautiful idea brought down that it says that you have to give Chatzi shekel in the parsha of Machatzit shekel. We're going to read Shkolim on Shabbat. It says half a shekel 3 times. If you take the gematria of Chatzi shekel of 215 3 times, it's the same gematria as David Melech Yisrael. David, king of Klal Yisrael. Because David's avodah, David himself was always connected to Hashem, whatever happened, whatever was going on. David said, I'm connected to Hashem. Good things are happening, I'm connected to Hashem. Bad things are happening, I'm connected to Hashem. Our job on this Shabbat especially, as we begin to get ready for Adar, and now it's Adar Bet. It's like it's Purim time. And in other Aleph, some people say you celebrate Purim, you don't celebrate Purim. It's machlokas. Some people say a little bit you should, in case you're supposed to. Other Bet, everything's on. Everyone agrees. Other Bet is what Purim is. Celebration, we intensify, we're like in the zone already. And if you didn't use other Aleph to get ready, so okay, so it's time to wake up. You got to get ready for Purim. And that doesn't mean just get ready to drink. There's a way to connect to Hashem on Purim, besides for the wine. So this Shabbat we're getting ready to say, I'm coming closer to you, Hashem. B'simcha, b'ahava, with love. And even if my avodah is just a simple avodah, very, very small level, we have to understand, Hashem knows, we have to understand that that is also fire. Hashem shows that to Moshe Rabbeinu the same way He shows him the menorah, which is so intense and detailed and rich in everything. To Hashem, they're both fire. Our job is to realize that as long as we're serving Hashem, we're trying, we're really working on ourselves, that avodah is a fire. It's beautiful to Hashem. And that's grounds for us to be besimcha. Mishenichnas adar marbim besimcha. Do you know the level of simcha you're supposed to be at right now? I think we said this once before. The status quo of a Jew is simcha. Just do the math. It's very simple math. Mishenichnas adar. When Adar comes in, marbim besimcha. You have to intensify, add on to your simcha. You know the opposite is also true. Mishenichnas av. When the month of Av comes, mimatin besimcha. You have to lessen the simcha. Which means that the status quo, the normal way of a Jew is simcha. Now do the math. We already did that. Other aleph already happened. Now we get to other bays, we have to say it again. Other bays. Marbin b'simcha, you have to intensify the intensified level of simcha. It's a chiyuv. You have to live on a doubly elevated level of simcha.
Twice as much.
Twice as much. Twice as much. When you realize that, even a simple coin on fire, it's got to propel you to a higher level, to be even more ecstatic. Hashem loves my avodah no matter where I'm at, no matter what I'm up to. If you do that, if you realize that, you recognize that, and that's how we start. Perhaps we can understand. I haven't seen this anywhere, but the idea is beautiful. We said it mentioned half a shekel 3 times. So if you take a half and a half, it becomes a whole. Right? That's 2 of them. When's the next one? It stays a half. Perhaps this is the same idea. Whether you feel like your avodah is shalem, whole, the 2 parts, all these different pieces connect, or it's not, it's still a half. The 3 correspond to 1 1/2. Whatever you feel your avodah is, it's still on fire. It's still matbeh shel ish. Hashem shows it to Moshe as fire. Serve me sincerely. That's fire, whatever level you're on. And bracha to all of us is we should always be able to serve Hashem sincerely. But even more than that, we should realize that whatever level that is, it's pure fire to Hashem. Let's continue to grow that flame, get bigger and bigger and bigger, and our simcha should join that flame and get bigger, bigger, bigger.
Amen.